The first thing I noticed was the smell. Not rot, not mold. Something colder than that. Like wet concrete after rain mixed with old perfume that refused to die. The landlord unlocked the apartment door and stepped aside without looking at me. "You can stay here for free," he said. "All you gotta do is keep the lights on at night." I laughed because I thought he was joking. He didn't laugh back. That should have been my warning. But when you're broke in America, warnings become luxuries. I had $43 left in my bank account. My car had already been repossessed. I was sleeping behind a laundromat in Phoenix before I answered an online ad that sounded too good to be true. Free housing in exchange for property caretaking. No experience needed. Cash bonus after 30 days. I thought maybe it was one of those rich people situations where they needed someone to water plants while they traveled Europe. Instead, I ended up standing inside apartment 14C, a place nobody wanted, a place tenants kept abandoning, a place where a woman named Elena Vance had slit her wrists in the bathtub 6 months earlier. The landlord finally told me after I signed the papers. Legally, I have to disclose it. That sentence hit harder than the truth itself. Legally, meaning he would have hidden it if he could. I stared at the bathroom door. The tub was spotless. Too spotless. Like someone had scrubbed away a memory instead of blood. "You serious?" I asked. The landlord nodded. "People around here think the apartment's cursed." "And you don't?" He shrugged. "I think poor people need places to stay." That line stayed in my head for weeks. Because he was right. People like me don't get to be afraid. Fear belongs to people with savings accounts. I moved in that same night. The building itself looked normal from the outside. Old brick, flickering hallway lights, a broken vending machine in the lobby. But the tenants avoided the fourth floor like it carried disease. Every time I stepped into the elevator, people got quiet when they saw the number 4 light up. One old woman crossed herself. Another whispered, "God protect you," before the doors closed. At first I thought everyone was dramatic. Then the noises started. Every night at exactly 2:13 a.m., something hit the wall behind my bed. 3 knocks. Slow. Deliberate. Bang. 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 The first night, I checked the hallway. Nobody there. Second night, same thing. Third night, I pounded on the wall and yelled for whoever was messing with me to cut it out. Silence. Then a whisper, right beside my ear. "Don't." I spun around so fast I nearly fell. Nothing behind me. No one in the room. But my skin turned cold instantly. I barely slept after that. The next morning, I asked the superintendent if anyone lived next door. He froze when I pointed toward the wall. "There ain't no apartment there," he said quietly. I laughed nervously. "What do you mean?" He swallowed hard. 14D burned down 3 years ago. I remember standing there holding my coffee while my stomach folded in on itself, because that wall wasn't connected to another apartment anymore. It backed into empty space. I tried convincing myself it was pipes. Old buildings make noise. That's what everybody says until the noises start saying things back. A week later, I found Elena's journal. It was hidden inside the kitchen vent wrapped in plastic. I should have thrown it away. Instead, I opened it. That decision changed everything. The entries started normal, complaints about bills, her ex-boyfriend cheating, depression, loneliness. Then the writing changed. The sentences got shaky, desperate. I hear knocking every night. I think someone is living inside the walls. The landlord knows. That line made my chest tighten. Then came the final entry. "If anyone finds this, don't stay here after 2:13. I slammed the journal shut. I wanted to leave immediately. But where was I going to go? Back to sleeping behind dumpsters? That's the thing nobody talks about. Poverty makes people negotiate with terror. You start calculating fear against rent prices. I told myself Elena had been mentally ill. Maybe the knocking was in her head. Maybe grief and loneliness destroyed her. That explanation worked until the elevator camera footage disappeared. See, one of my caretaker duties was checking security monitors downstairs. Simple job. Mostly package thieves and drunk tenants. One night, around 2:30 a.m., I saw movement on the 4th floor camera. A woman standing outside my apartment, long dark hair, white dress, head tilted sideways. She wasn't moving, just standing there staring directly at my door. I nearly dropped my coffee. I rewound the footage, paused it, zoomed in. Her face looked pale. Not pale like skin, pale like paper left underwater too long. Then the screen glitched black. When it came back, she was closer. No walking, no transition, just suddenly closer to the camera. I ran upstairs with a baseball bat. The hallway was empty. But my apartment door was open. I know for a fact I locked it. Inside, every light was on. The bathroom faucet was running red, not blood, rusty water, still enough to freeze me in place, and written across the mirror in steam were 3 words: "You should leave." I didn't sleep at all that night. The next morning, I confronted the landlord. He barely reacted. That scared me more than anything. "How many people lived in that apartment after Elena?" I demanded. He sighed like a tired father dealing with a child. "You're the 5th. 5th. Why'd the others leave?" "They all said strange things happened." "And you still keep renting it?" He looked me dead in the eyes. "Because nobody else will guard the building for free." That was the moment I realized something horrifying. He didn't think the apartment was haunted. He knew. And he needed desperate people because desperate people stay longer. I started researching Elena online. Turns out she wasn't the first suicide in the building. Not even close. 4 deaths in 12 years. Same floor, same side of the building. Every victim reported insomnia before dying. Every victim complained about knocking noises. Every victim became paranoid. And every death happened after exactly 30 days living there. 30 days. The same amount of time needed to earn my cash bonus. I checked my calendar. I was on day 27. That realization hit like ice water. I packed my bag immediately. Didn't care about the money anymore. Didn't care about pride. I was leaving. Then the power went out. The entire apartment plunged into darkness. A second later came the knocking. Bang, 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 louder than ever before. The wall behind my bed started shaking. Dust fell from the ceiling. Then I heard scratching. Like fingernails dragging through wood. I grabbed my flashlight and aimed it at the wall. That's when I saw the cracks. Tiny at first, then widening. Something was moving inside. I backed toward the door. The scratching became violent, animalistic. Then a voice came from inside the wall. Not loud, soft, broken. "Help me." I ran. I didn't even grab my bag. I sprinted down the hallway barefoot while the emergency lights flashed red. And as I reached the elevator, I saw her. The woman from the camera footage, standing at the end of the hall, white dress soaked dark around the wrists, head tilted unnaturally. She raised one finger slowly and pointed toward me. Then she smiled. Not angry, not evil, sad. That smile ruined me more than anything, because it looked human, like someone trapped somewhere terrible. The elevator doors opened behind me. I jumped inside and slammed the button for the lobby. As the doors closed, I heard screaming echo through the hallway. Not rage, pain. The kind of scream people make when they realize nobody is coming to save them. I quit that same night, left the keys in the mailbox, blocked the landlord's number, slept at a bus station afterward, didn't care. Anywhere was safer than 14C. Months passed before I could even talk about it. People thought I was crazy. Maybe I was. Trauma changes your brain. But sometimes late at night, I'd wake up hearing 3 knocks somewhere nearby, and every time, my heart stopped. Eventually, I found stable work loading trucks in Nevada. Nothing glamorous, but enough to rent a tiny studio apartment. I tried forgetting everything. Then one rainy night, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost ignored it. Something told me not to answer, but I did anyway. A woman's voice whispered, "You survived." Static crackled afterward. I froze. "Who is this?" I asked. No answer. Then softly, "He feeds it, people." The line disconnected. I knew instantly who she meant. The landlord. 2 weeks later, curiosity destroyed my peace completely. I searched the building online again. The property had been sold after a fire. Fourth floor, heavily damaged. One casualty reported. The landlord. At first, I felt relieved. Then I read the final paragraph of the article. Authorities discovered a concealed maintenance corridor hidden behind the walls of apartments 14C and 14D. Inside, investigators found evidence that someone had been secretly living there for years. Food wrappers, old blankets, photographs of tenants sleeping, and journals. Dozens of journals, including Elena's. Suddenly, the ghost story became something even worse. Human. The police believed a mentally disturbed squatter had been stalking residents through the walls, listening to them, watching them, driving vulnerable people insane. The fire likely started inside the hidden corridor. They never found the squatter's body. Most people would feel comfort after hearing that explanation. I didn't, because I remembered the woman smiling at the end of the hallway. I remembered the elevator footage glitching. I remembered the voice beside my ear whispering, "Don't." And I remembered something else. Something I never told anyone. The night I ran from 14C, I looked back once before entering the elevator. Just once. The woman standing in the hallway wasn't alone. Behind her, halfway inside the cracked wall, stood a man-shaped shadow watching me. Tall. Still. Smiling wider than any human should. And when the elevator doors closed, I saw the woman mouth two final words. "Still here."